This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Ogaraj and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The debate on no confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpila will commence today in Parliament. The General Secretary of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sagar Karyavasam, reiterates that he will remain in the same stance that it will not allow to increase the fuel prices amidst various other difficulties. Sri Lanka has become the leading country in vaccination in terms of the rolling 7-day average per 100 people in the total population. Dr. Hemantha Herrera says that around 20 to 30% infections in Colombo are of Delta variant. Daily coronavirus case tally at 1,464 yesterday. Sri Lanka reports 48 more COVID-19 fatalities yesterday. The 11th day of annual Assalapera Herrera of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Mahadevalaya will parade the streets tonight. News overseas, Canada to open border to fully vaccinated Americans in August. In sports, the second ODI between Sri Lanka and India will be played today as a day and night encounter at R. Premadasa Cricket Stadium. The match will commence at 3 p.m. local time. Local news in detail now. The debate on no confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpila will commence today in Parliament. The vote on NCM will be held in the afternoon. The resolution on the NCM was submitted by parliamentarian S.M. Marikar yesterday. The Health Ministry says around 5.5 million people have been provided with the first dose of corona vaccine, while the second dose is given to 1.6 million people in the country. The vaccination process is being carried out successfully at present. The number of corona infections are dropping slowly. However, the risk of corona infections is still there in the country, the Health Ministry added. The General Secretary of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sagar Karyavasam, reiterates that they will remain in the same stance that it will not allow to increase the fuel prices amidst various other difficulties. In the meantime, the party will stand firm to defeat the NCM against Minister Udaya Gammanpila. He further said that the ruling party, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, will never leave room for opposition to capitalize or encash any benefit from this situation. The ruling party will show its might, strength of unity at this occasion, he added. State Minister P.L. Nishanta says the government plans to relax restrictions step by step as the vaccination process is being carried out successfully. Some opposition elements are spreading wrong information and rumours through their social media, the State Minister added. The general public should not fall prey for these rumours and stay stable with right information. The 11th day of annual Assalapera Herrera of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Mahadevalaya will parade the streets tonight. The parade will commence at 6:30 p.m. The pageant will include fire dance as well. The final Randoli Perahara will parade the streets day after tomorrow. Ministry of Health says that 20 to 30% of COVID-19 infections reported from the Colombo district can be of the Delta variant. Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemantha Herrera, said that this is revealed through the testing of samples collected from reported infections. Dr. Hemantha Herrera further said that the information on the variants are found only through the samples. The relevant authorities do not carry out gene sequencing on every positive PCR result. Therefore, we don't receive information on every COVID-19 patient identified. The universities have given us an estimate that 20 to 30% infections from Colombo are of the Delta variant. Dr. Herrera points out that it can be concluded that the Delta variant has spread to all areas of the country, seeing as reports of the variant are received from even north. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Call 0718 800 999.
Continuing with more local stories, the epidemiology unit of the Health Ministry reports that another 484 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka, moving the daily total of new cases to 1,464 yesterday. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of coronavirus reported in the country to 286,419. As many as 261,848 recoveries and 3,827 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the outbreak of the pandemic. The epidemiology unit's data showed that 20,792 active cases are currently under medical care. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 48 more COVID-19 related fatalities that have occurred yesterday. The new development has pushed the official death toll due to the virus in Sri Lanka to 3,827. According to the data released by the Department of Government Information, the new victims confirmed include 20 females and 28 males. One of them are aged below 30. 10 victims are between 30 to 59 years of age, and the remaining 37 are aged 60 and above. Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Piri, said that this year's GCE Advanced Level and Scholarship examinations will be held in November. He was addressing a media briefing in Colombo. Accordingly, the GCE Advanced Level examination, which was scheduled to be held in October, will be held from the 15th of November to the 10th of December. This year's Grade 5 Scholarship examination will be held on Sunday, the 14th of November, said the Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Piri. That's on local news.
Now, get your EPF loan information and service details via SMS from HDFC Bank. Wherever you are, being a state and private sector employee, to obtain EPF loan information and service details, just send a SMS mentioning EPF space, name and region to 0718 800 999. HDFC Bank, the bank for your home.
The main news story is brought to you by Sandalwood Mahatmya.
The National Sandalwood Garden built at Battaramulla, Sri Javardhanapura, will be vested with the public at 6 p.m. today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Constructions of the garden commenced on the 20th of last year. 294 million rupees have been spent to build the garden in 2 stages. There are 300 red sandalwood and 900 white sandalwood trees in the garden. All facilities have been made available for the visitors. The vehicle park can accommodate 60 vehicles at once.
The main news story was brought to you by Sandalwood Mahatmya.
And on Watch Live, the health officials request the public to follow the health guidelines during this period. Although travel restrictions are relaxed, the public is requested to follow health regulations strictly as the Delta variant is identified in certain parts of the country, including Colombo. The public is also requested to follow special guidelines released by Health Ministry to control the third wave of corona outbreak. The health officials warned that further travel restrictions will be determined in future based on the behavior of the general public. Moving on to world news headlines. Boris Johnson resisted autumn lockdown as only over 80 is dying, Dominic Cummings. First Capitol rioter sentenced to prison. Canada to open border to fully vaccinated Americans in August. World news in detail. Boris Johnson was reluctant to tighten COVID restrictions as cases rose last autumn because he thought people dying from it were essentially all over 80, Dominic Cummings has claimed. He also said the Prime Minister has messaged him to say, "I no longer buy all this NHS overwhelmed stuff." Mr. Johnson had wanted to let COVID wash through the country rather than destroy the economy, Mr. Cummings said. The claims came in an interview with a political editor, Laura. A Florida man has become the first to be sentenced to prison for his part in the U.S. Capitol riots on the 6th of January. Paul Allard Hodgkins pleaded guilty in June to one felony count of entering the Capitol to obstruct Congress. He was jailed for 8 months. Prosecutors has asked for a term of 18 months, saying Hodgkins contributed to the collective threat to democracy. The sentence is expected to set a benchmark for hundreds of upcoming cases from the Capitol riots. In the meantime, Canada will open its borders to fully vaccinated Americans next month after a nearly 17-month closure. The move to ease border restrictions comes after significant gains in the country's vaccination rate and a steady drop in COVID-19 cases. If the virus progress continues, Canada will welcome all fully vaccinated international travellers by the 7th of September. All travellers will need to present a negative COVID-19 test before entry. That's on World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
In development news, 23 playgrounds will be developed in southern province. A sum of 30 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose. The main objective of this project is to provide a better sports environment to the children of the rural community to improve their sports skills. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is implementing this project.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
In sports news, cricket. Less than 48 hours after India put the finishing touches on their thumping of Sri Lanka in the first ODI, the teams have to go again. If you're a Sri Lankan fan, hold on tight. This might not be pretty. In many senses, we didn't really learn much from the first match. It was already known that Sri Lanka lacked world-class batters. Although the likes of Avishka Fernando and Bhanuka Rajapaksa struck attractive boundaries, there was no one to hold the innings together. But for number 8, Shamika Karunaratne's unbeaten 43 of 35 balls, Sri Lanka may have stumbled to a truly subpar total. The second ODI between Sri Lanka and India will be played today as a day and night encounter at R. Premadasa Cricket Stadium. The match will commence at 3 p.m. local time.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Jat Holdings, Sri Lanka's trusted industry leader in finishing and furnishing, will commence its highly awaited initial public offering today. This action will enable the public with a timely opportunity to make a secure and highly lucrative investment in Jat, which was proved its resilience and stability throughout 28 years of operations. Since its establishment in 1993, the company has also grown exponentially and successfully expanded its footprint across South Asia.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's exports sector maintained its upward trend in June 2021, with exports increasing by 9.41% to $978.2 million compared to June 2020. This upward trend was evident year on year for the last 4 months. Sri Lanka's merchandise exports in the first half of the year 2021 was $5,561.72 million, an increase of 27.49% over $4,362.34 million in the first half of the year 2020.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in Sabaragamu and central provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in Western Province and in Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour at times are likely across the island, and strong gusty winds up to 60 kilometers per hour at times can be expected in the western slope of the Central Hills. This weather report was published at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com predicts that Colombo weather would be generally bright during the day. There will be cloudy weather in the afternoon. Today's daytime temperature would be around 31 Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 28 Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature will be 28 Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index is 18, which shows fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines. The debate on no confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpila will commence today in Parliament. The General Secretary of Sri Lanka Potujana Perumuna, Karyavasam, reiterates that they will remain in the same stance that it will not allow to increase the fuel prices amidst various other difficulties. Sri Lanka has become the leading country in vaccination in terms of the rolling 7-day average per 100 people in the total population. Dr. Hemantha Herath says that around 20 to 30% infections in Colombo are of Delta variant. Daily coronavirus case tally at 1,464 yesterday. Sri Lanka reports 48 more COVID-19 fatalities yesterday. The 11th day of annual Assalapera Herrera of the historic Ruhunakatragama Mahadevalaya will parade the streets tonight. News overseas: Canada to open border to fully vaccinated Americans in August. Sports: the second ODI between Sri Lanka and India will be played today as a day and night encounter at R. Premadasa Cricket Stadium. The match will commence at 3 p.m. local time. With that, we conclude this morning's Bulletin of News.